You are listening to Fox Radio 910 and 104.3. I want to welcome you to Let's Talk About, our weekly radio program sponsored by Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia. My name is Linda Balentine, the president of Crowning Touch and your host for this series. I interview local characters, service providers, politicians, teachers, entrepreneurs, and business professionals, and each one is dedicated to improving life in our valley. Every person has an interesting perspective to share from all walks of life. So, let's begin today's interview. Today on Let's Talk About, we're heading into the woods to learn about an extraordinary school where nature is the classroom. My guest is Catherine Eubank, founder of One Forest School in Huddleston, Virginia. Catherine is a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother who has turned her private nature preserve into a place where children ages 2 to 12 can explore, learn, and thrive in an outdoor environment. From stream-based education to hands-on adventures in the forest, One Forest School is giving young people a unique foundation for learning. Catherine joins us to share her story and vision. Good morning, Catherine. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
And thank you for sharing what you're going to be sharing over the next little bit of a half hour. Why don't we start with your personal journey, because I find it fascinating. Because we are right now out here almost in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful rolling countryside of Virginia. We're on the Bedford side of Bedford County.
Yeah, we're in Bedford County on the Smith Mountain Lake side.
Okay. Well, tell me what shaped your vision? Because there's a lot. So let's talk a little bit about your personal history.
Yeah, there is a lot. I started in food service, if you can believe it. A complete turnaround. Absolutely. So when I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, my last, I was less than 2 weeks from delivery when Columbine, the tragedy of Columbine, hit the news. And I think that was the very first time that the nation just paused.
It was a shock. You could feel it. It tremored from one coast to the other.
It did. The reverberation, it was felt. We had never, I think, as a nation, felt that horrified.
Right.
And devastated at the same time. And I think my way of thinking started to shift at that point, because my children in Bedford County had an idyllic upbringing. Yeah. It's a quiet, sleepy town, especially back in the 80s. There was not anything going on. We were very sheltered.
Down home, crime-free.
Yes. We didn't lock the doors. The keys were left in the car. It was just, I think, an eye-opening, what is happening? Is the world on fire type of thing.
So you went from that. What's your next step? I know it, but I want you to share it.
Well, I continued on my path of raising my children, and I opened a restaurant. I was a very successful festival vendor and caterer, so I segued into opening a restaurant, and I did that for a while. But it was probably one of the hardest things that I'd ever done because of our staff, honestly. It was, and I know other business owners can empathize and sympathize and understand that it was.
Well, it's still that way, by the way. I don't want to interrupt, but we have an exaggerated case of the same thing right now.
It is, and it's just gotten much worse. And
you're speaking of a lack of a work ethic, correct?
Lack of work ethic, and it was. These folks are coming in drunk or high. They have no job, or they have no sense of accomplishment for things. Everything is just done with no pride in getting the job done. And my grandfather always used to say, if I can't trust you to do a good job on cleaning the toilet,
on something
why
small,
would I give you something more important than
that? Well,
that's
biblical too. If you can't be trusted with something small, no one's going to trust you with a big deal.
Right.
So that hit you.
It did hit me. And then more and more you would see workplace violence. Kids were getting more and more more violent at school. Teen suicide is up on the rise, and it was really becoming a problem, and it was starting to hit closer and closer to home. And it just got to the point where I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. I was tired of the fight.
Right.
So I sold the restaurant and I spent some time on my sailboat. She's an old Columbia, 1972.
Where was it? Where did you keep her moored?
On Smith Mountain Lake.
How neat.
On Smith Mountain Lake. And I had her at VISA, the Virginia Inland Sailing Association. So they're a great bunch of people down there. And I was just scrolling through my phone one night, as you do in the middle of the night, if you're a female at that time of age. And I started looking through different options to replace all the plumbing on my boat, because at that point it had an outflow, and you don't want that on the lake.
Yeah, good for the ocean, not for the lake.
Yeah. So we just buttoned her up, but I was tired of peeing in a 5-gallon bucket in the middle of the night. So I was scrolling on my phone looking for, different RV camping toilets, that type of thing. And through my scrolling, it just happened to pop up on my feed, want to become your own forest school leader. And I had never even heard of that.
Tickled your imagination.
Yeah.
And then you investigated what forest schools are. So why don't you share exactly what forest school is, since you are now heading a tremendous effort out here in the woods? Tell us about what a forest school is.
It basically teaches emotional intelligence through connecting children to nature in a holistic way. It was as if a light had been turned on. Our society as a whole, from young to old, because Columbine kids are now older, and that's where we're seeing more and more workplace violence. These people have lost their ability to express their emotions and their feelings or their communication skills in safe and effective ways. They've lost their ability to manage their emotions. They can't say they're upset. Yeah. Or you're bugging me. Instead, they're bringing a gun to work, or they're bringing a gun to school, and that's not okay.
They haven't learned the fact that they have choices about how to deal with things.
Right.
And the other thing about that I have discerned about forest school seems to be as soon as you walk inside a room with 4 walls, you have cut off half of your stimulation.
Yes.
Half of it. And likewise, your reaction ability to go ahead and weigh things in the balance and decide what's important to focus on, what might be a danger, and what choices you can exercise. In other words, you're losing half of your response.
Yeah. Your cognitive abilities are muted.
Yeah, they are. And so so you don't have the experience of making those choices and experiencing success from the choices you make, which is another point with these kids in forest school.
Yeah, and for us, we really get excited when we have an opportunity to teach. So if we see someone that is bullying another child, we're actually happy about it, because that's offering us an opportunity to teach not just that one child, but all the children. So when we have an altercation, which, when you have a large group of children together, there are going to be times when they're going to fight over whose stick it is, even though you're in the middle of the forest. It happens more than you can imagine. So we stop all play. We gather all the kids together, and we have what we call taco bout it. We have tacos every day. We are going to talk about it. Yeah. We even have a taco stick. So the taco stick gets started with, what happened? Why are you upset?
Right.
So he gets to talk because he has the stick, and then he'll say, well, it was my stick. I've been whittling on it all week. And then Johnny took the stick and he whacked me on the head with it. And he says it's his stick, and whatever the thing is. Yeah. But all the children around are also, we're not hiding these problems. We're putting light on the problems. So then little Johnny gets his side of it, and then we open it up to all the other kids. We ask, what did you see? who was around little Johnny and little Tommy that can help us solve this problem that they're having. And so the other kids raised their hands. I saw what happened, and Tommy's right. Johnny was just being mean, and he's been mean to me too all day. And so we slowly
Peel the onion.
Yeah.
And get to the bottom of it. Now you're talking about, I know that the school, am I correct in understanding that the school takes children from 2 to 12? I mean, but you don't have any 2-year-olds here now, correct?
No, the youngest we have here is 18 months.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. All right. So you've got this group, sort of a one-room schoolhouse philosophy, even though the rooms are gone.
Yes.
But the philosophy of the pride that kids get from helping each other, and the fact that younger kids learn to respect and look up to those with more experience really works as a whole here,
Yes.
right? That's a part of your holistic approach
Yes.
to teaching.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty
The younger
pretty
kids
special.
are always going to strive to keep up with the older children. And the older children are setting good examples and learning leadership skills through setting those good examples. So it's a whole symbiotic circle of help. Everybody's helping. Even the 18-month-old baby that we have
amazing.
is helping the 12-year-old girl figure out, how can she help him? How is he helping her become a better person?
Let's talk about stream versus STEM as we're talking about the all of the things that you're educating them in. Explain
Sure.
the letters STREAM.
It's actually eStream.
Okay.
eStream is environmental education. I am in my last year of getting my environmental education certification through the Virginia Association of Environmental Education, which is through Lynchburg University. And I know it's a mouthful. So that's the E.
Okay, that's good. So it doesn't stand for electronics.
No.
At all.
And then we have STEM, which is still the basic science, technology, engineering, and math. And then we had to add in reading and art.
Yes, I gotcha.
And teaching a project-based curriculum was the easiest way we could accomplish meeting all of the Virginia SOL standards in an outdoor setting.
Which you needed to do because you are accredited.
Yes.
Correct. So, and you have a camp here in the summertime. You have 12 weeks of camp.
Yes, we do.
So if you have kids that you might be homeschooling at home, they are eligible to apply for camp, correct?
Yes.
While we're in the middle of this, why don't we share your website? What is your website?
Sure. It is www.one4school.org.
And One for School is spelled out ONE.
And it is capitalized for phonetic reasons. It's an acronym for Organic Nature Experience. So if you're looking at our name, the ONE is always capitalized.
I'm intrigued, too, by how you combine things like math and science and reading in this outdoor setting, the way they interrelate. You've got a real interlocking. You can be teaching art and math. You can be measuring tree trunks and be teaching math, correct? So how do you do that in the outdoor setting? Let's explain the scene around here a little bit, because I think people are thinking they're standing out under the trees, but there is a shelter.
We have several shelters throughout the entire nature preserve. Down at base camp, our focus this month is September, so that's Native American History Month. And their STEM project this month is recreating a Monacan village.
Wow.
So we have an area that they've cleared.
So this is life-size Monacan Village.
This is a life-size,
shelter they're going to make,
but in a smaller area.
Did they have a fort? Were there walls or were there sticks around a Monacan village or not?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. But they're using, the older kids are using their geometry and their algebra to create the space. It came out the way that the contours of the land are. And because it's somewhat on a hillside, they chose their Monacan village to be in the shape of a diamond. So it's just a diamond shape.
Gotcha.
How it's gonna lay out, and
Is it close to a water source?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
That was important.
It is.
See, you can really replicate so much authenticity right out of these hills.
Right. So the whole STEM, you're integrating building and engineering right there, but then they're reading about the Bonnikins. They're learning about the different foods that they were eating. We have a pawpaw grove here that we believe was managed by the early settlers to the Huddleston area, which were the Saponis. And so the pawpaw trees now are all fruiting. So all the kids are getting to enjoy the Native Americans' favorite food, the pawpaws.
What did they do with the pawpaws? Educate me. How did they eat them?
Well, they peeled them and then they ate them.
Okay.
So
ate them raw and fresh.
Yes. So Hernando de Soto, bringing you back to the explorers and the conquistadors, when they first saw the natives in the Americas, they thought the pawpaws were papayas. And so that name, papaya, has been shortened down to pawpaw.
Right.
And then they're learning about the history of the pawpaws. They're learning how to ID the trees. They're learning the old Burl Ives song, way down yonder in the pawpaw patch.
Oh, wow.
So it's all together, that wealth of information from start to finish about where they are. That's where we offer a place-based education. And it starts with knowing your home first.
Right.
We're not learning about Egypt. We're not learning about the Amazon River. Not now.
Right.
Let's take apart every single thing about your home.
I love that.
Place.
I love that. That's deep, actually, because that helps the kid get their legs under them. It grounds them.
It gives them a solid foundation to then use that information to start learning about other places.
And then what they can apply about their appreciation, which they've learned related to their home ground, then they're more willing to stretch and apply an appreciation, not just a knowledge of Egypt, but an appreciation of what it must feel like to live there and grow up there and appreciate that. And that encourages respect.
Yes.
Culturally for every other place.
And sustainability.
Yeah.
So you have to teach love first. And you can't love something without knowing something.
And learning to love at home.
Yes.
Pretty powerful.
Thank you.
You've had a lot of children who've been affected deeply out here. You have lots of kids, from single family homes and everything, but you have a really wonderful story about a little girl. Can you share that with us?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a special story about how being outside opens you up in ways that you can rarely anticipate even.
Yes. So we had a little girl come to us for summer camp. She had been really struggling in all of her other daycares, and then they were looking at private school for her in the fall because she wasn't speaking. She wasn't speaking to her neighbors. She wasn't speaking to her teachers, her friends. Nothing
just
would
her
come
parents,
out.
correct? Just
her parents. She wouldn't speak to any of the medical people that she was going to see. Mm-hmm. She had what was diagnosed as selective mutism. Okay. And the parents had lived in Lynchburg. They had read about our program, and they brought their daughter to us to see if we could help. And so we put Duke, our 6-year-old bloodhound, on
the case.
On the case. He was our most laid-back seal dog. Seal trained dogs are social, emotional aspects of learning.
Wow! So
these dogs, we have a whole group of bloodhounds,
and they're
a whole
beautiful,
family.
And they sing in concert.
Yes. So they are working dogs, but they work for a different way. We wanted to have a large dog that wasn't hyperactive, that was really good with children, to work with children and getting them to open up, especially the ones that were having a hard time being outdoors, which is a thing nowadays.
Yeah.
So Duke went down as her companion every single day during summer camp, and she spent all of her time with this dog. All the other kids just globbed onto her in the beginning because they loved new kids to play with.
Right.
But this little girl wouldn't speak to them, so they just started leaving her alone. And she spent more and more time with Duke during the day, and slowly she started talking to the dog.
Isn't that neat?
And by the end of the summer, she was talking to the other children. She was talking to staff, and their parents were able to put her in public school.
Oh, wow.
In kindergarten the following fall.
What a great success story. So Duke he's a therapy dog, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Well, that's very, very special. What do you say to parents who are hesitant about outdoor education? I know everybody that comes here, some people can grab your vision immediately, and some people reject it. They have to. I mean, because they can't understand it. So, what do you think makes them hesitant?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the weather. So do we just keep our kids home when it rains? And I said, no. Clothing is your key for comfort level.
Yeah, I've heard that there's no bad weather. There's just underdressed children.
That's exactly right. And kids are resilient, and they love to splash in puddles. They love to get muddy. They love the rain. They love the snow. And if you're dressing your child appropriately, then it's not a problem. And on those really, really horrible days, we do have our Discovery Center, and half of the Discovery Center where we're sitting in now is dedicated to an inclement weather classroom. Right. So all of the classroom materials, our computer lab, our printer, everything is in here. We've got dino rhinos for the kids to sit on, and it's very comfy and cozy here in those really wet winter days where the temperatures just plummet.
Well, is it fair to say that when they are here during most of their day, that they are not on tablets and they're not using phones? It's sort of technologically free in that regard.
This is a dead zone for technology, really.
Yeah.
We have no children on tablets because the latest research is now saying that children under 10 should not be allowed any type of electronic device. It is changing the way that their brains are growing, and not in a good way.
Well, that is why the founders of Google and Apple and all of that, they send their kids, in Silicon Valley, to private schools that do not allow any electronic devices for research or for anything. They're not allowed and there's a reason they do that.
Yeah.
They're hip to it.
Yeah.
And we're suckers for it. We're just stupid.
Our computer lab is basically set up for children to teach typing, to get them used to a keyboard, for writing their reports, or for the older kids to do basic research when necessary. But we really want them looking things up in books.
How do you track progress and measure educational success here? In other words, do you do testing? Do you wait to the end of the year to test? I mean, you say you're following the standards of learning, but how do you have to measure that?
Yeah, we do. We don't necessarily do testing. We do assessments 3 times a year. Okay. So we assess the kids at the beginning of the year to see where they are, if they're a new student, or how much they've lost during the summer. A lot of parents promise to read to their children every day, but that doesn't always happen every day. And then in the middle of the year, around December, we do assessments again to see where they are, and then we'll assess at the end of the school year in April to get everything ready for for May. So we do have grades.
Okay. Some feedback for the parents. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So when parents get their work home every week in their Friday folder, they'll have their language arts work. And these are all printed pages. They get their math work. Some of the older kids do have homework if they get just too distracted during the day because they're working on their STEM project. They don't necessarily want to do their reading.
Yeah, gotcha.
So they will sometimes have homework, but grades mean we have levels, preschool through 6th grade. Mm-hmm. But we have a first grader who is currently doing 4th grade work.
Right.
We have a 4th grader who is on a kindergarten reading level. So we're not looking at grade-specific things.
You're really meeting them where they're at is what you're doing.
Yes, and we are not allowing them to move on until they've mastered that level.
Okay. Let's quickly talk. We've got about a minute left. Mention some of the way you interrelate to the community with Ferrum and with some of the other groups and people that are standing behind you here.
Yes, we've had overwhelming support from institutions like Ferrum College and the Virginia Museum of Natural History, the University of Lynchburg, of course. Their resources have come to us through my being a Virginia Master Naturalist, because teaching me how to become a Virginia Master Naturalist opened these doors for me to say, hey, can you please help us teach these kids? And they've welcomed us in with open arms. I'm also the Virginia representative for NAI, for environmental education, and that's also helped a lot as well.
Well, I hate to cut it short, but I need to be able to tell people that they've been listening to Let's Talk About with our guest, Catherine Eubank, founder of One Forest School, and her passion, your passion, for children education, the natural world shines through in everything you do. And it's a real honor to be here. If you'd like to learn more about Forest School, visit her again on the website, which is, say it again,
www.oneforestschool.org.
All righty. God bless you, Catherine. Thank you so much for today.
No, thank you, Linda.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Let's Talk About, courtesy of Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia, the only moving company with a consignment shop, auction house, and real estate division. We are a one-stop shop for any senior making a move. Check out our website at crowningtouchusa.com. Or if you are planning a move, call Anna at 540-982-5800 to arrange a free estimate. And don't forget to check out our monthly browse and bid auctions at 6712 Williamson Road in Roanoke, where you can bid online on over 1,800 items each month. Meanwhile, let's get back together next Friday at noon for more of Let's Talk About on Fox 910 and 104.3.